and there's nobody here. I mean, there's people up in the north arm. I passed them when I come out. I saw a couple of kayakers, some people trolling for crappie, another guy in a boat that took off and headed straight east, the opposite direction as me. But there's still not even probably 6 or 8 people out here. Now, it is a Tuesday instead of, being a weekend. But, I mean, it just kind of blows my mind that something that's literally 10, 12 miles at the most from Springfield is this empty. Of course, I will say this, I so far have not caught a fish. So, it's a tough fishing lake. It always has been known as a tough fishing lake. And that's odd because they stock it, and it obviously doesn't get a tremendous amount of pressure. But I think part of it is it's just super clear water. There's not a lot of vegetation in it. There's some sunken brush piles that the Corps and the Boy Scouts and people like that have put out here, but there's not a lot of natural standing timber or anything. It's an old lake. I don't know exactly when they dammed this up, but my guess is probably in the 50s. But I don't know that for sure. That's just what I would guess. So anyway, I'm going to get back off of here. I'm just chattering a little bit because, like I say, the fishing's not been that great. I don't know if I'll put this up if I don't catch at least one fish because, like I say, what I heard on YouTube is that to be a fishing video, you need a fish. And right now I don't have one. But anyway, I'll get back with you. Well, by golly, not only do I have a fish, I've got a big fish. I don't know what it is. I think it's just a black bass, but it just a pretty darn nice fish. My guess is it's not a muskie. But by golly, it's taking some line. It's not fighting like a catfish. Like I say, I'm assuming it's probably just a regular old black bass, which is, holy cow. Not only is it a regular old black bass, gosh dang it, broke the line right at the kayak. Dang, that was probably a 5-pounder. Plus it was my only bandit lure. Gosh darn it. I didn't have a net with me. Oh, that's too bad. That's just the story of my life on bass. Anyway, let me see. Get a lure tied back on here. Well, shoot. Hopefully I got that fish enough on video that you could see it. I've been trolling using light line, 8-pound test. And really wasn't expecting anything other than maybe some crappie or a white bass with this rod. I brought a heavy rod, obviously, in case I happened to hook up with a muskie, but I wasn't expecting any bass. I got him right up there. My rod was in the way. I didn't have a net with me. I thought if I could get hold of the line, maybe I could guide him back here to where I could lip him. But I put a little too much tension on the line, which is my fault. I mean, I just got a little overconfident. I really thought that I could bring him in. The thing that stinks is I've only got one bandit with me now. I've got a dozen probably at home in different tackle boxes, but in this kayak box I just had one. I do have a flicker shad in just a traditional gray shad pattern, so I'll try it. But I'd like to have my bandit back just in case. Plus, I would have really liked to get the fish in the boat, but I am going to go ahead and post the video, assuming that enough of the fish shows up that you can actually see that it wasn't a stick or a log, or a rock or something. Plus, like I say, I'm really looking for an excuse to put up another video. So I guess I'll get back to trolling and lick my wounds and see if I can catch another fish. Well, I'm about 3 hours into my fishing, paddling mostly. That's where I just come from. Right back there is around that corner, a half mile or so, is where I launched. That's the point that I went by when I first started fishing. I've made basically a circle. The dam, as you can see, is up there. And I'm not going to go that far. I probably will kind of go up to this point and then make a big right and go across the lake and then back down to the launch ramp and call her a day. By that time, I'll have probably paddled 4 hours, maybe 4.5, and that'll probably be enough for me. I'm starting to get a little tired. I think I've mentioned I'm an old guy, so, you know, I mean, I'm between 65 and 70, and so this has been a fair workout. It seems like I've paddled into the wind all darn day, but I know I haven't. Like I said, I think I'll go up and make a right on that point and follow that point across the lake this way. So I'll be back on pretty soon. It's Wednesday. It was a long old day out there on the water, and I was pretty tired, so I decided to just make the closing video today. I had a good time. I did a lot of trolling. Mostly, I trolled early for the muskie. It didn't take me long to figure out I wasn't going to catch one. I did a lot of casting. Didn't have any luck there. Had one hook up on the big bait casting on the big 6 cents C9, I think it's called. I don't know what it was. It still didn't feel like a muskie. It might have been a black bass. Who knows? I lost it before I ever got a chance to see it. I lost a really nice bass, which is the only reason I'm making the video. I just wanted to get a video on. I appreciate people that watch it, and I don't want to have it go so long without a video that you know, that people just completely lose interest. I understand it's not super interesting right now anyway, but you know, like I said, I don't want to go so long that people forget about it. I'd say that bass was a 5-pounder, but it may not be. Don't flame me if you look at it and think it was a 3-pounder. I don't bass fish much. I'm not that great at guessing them. It looked like a real nice bass to me. I tried to get it in. I had a paddle laying in the way. I had another rod down there on the side of the kayak in the way. I thought if I could get that line and just kind of move that line around a little bit, I might be able to lip that fish. But I was short line. There was only, you know, 3-4 foot of line out, and that fish did a head shake right at the kayak, and it was 8-pound test. He snapped it. I was really surprised. It was a long, you know, that fish was probably 80 feet away when I hooked it, and I managed to get it all the way up there pretty quick. I really thought it was gassed, and I didn't think it had any fight left in it. But again, I'm not an experienced bass fisherman. I fish for white bass a lot, crappie a lot, walleye a lot. I don't bass fish much. I've got a few friends that are good bass fishermen. I go with them once in a while. So I was a little out of my element. Plus, being in a kayak, if you're not an experienced kayak fisherman, you probably don't realize just how little space there is in there. I mean, those kayaks look pretty big in your garage, but when you get them out on the water, they're not that big. And if you fish in a kayak, I'll let you know what I mean. It just seems like when something like that's going on, there's usually something in your way. But like I say, I appreciate you guys watching. I'm going to try to get back on the water next week. I'm going to try to fish for those muskie again. I bought an annual pass because I'm going to try for a cloudier day, a little cooler day, and try to refine it, use some swim baits, maybe some glide baits. I'd really like to catch one just to, you know, to say I did. I sure appreciate you guys watching. And, you know, like I say, if you are bored and really just don't have anything to watch, I've got another channel where I make some holsters and knife sheaths, and I do a lot of target shooting at the range. I mean, you know, if you're not a gun person, if you're anti-gun, you know, you don't want to go on the channel because it's primarily designed around target shooting. If you are interested in it, I'd appreciate it if you take a look at it. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll be on again soon.